You can't name a single African alphabet, not because they don't exist. They do. You just weren't supposed to learn them. Africa had writing systems before English was even a language. Some are still used today, on street signs in Morocco, in churches in Ethiopia, in schools in Liberia, and nobody taught you. That wasn't an accident. Ethiopia has an alphabet. It's called Ge'ez, 2,500 years old. English is only 1,400. When the English were still speaking something no one would understand today, Ethiopia were already writing. Ge'ez has 231 characters, not 26 like English. 231. A complete system, fully developed, still used today in Ethiopian churches, in Eritrean churches, in religious texts. Ge'ez never died because Ethiopia were never colonized. They couldn't erase what they couldn't conquer, so they erased it and hope you would never find out. Nigeria had its own writing. Most Nigerians today don't even know about it. It's called Nsibidi. It was a code used by the Ikoyi, Efik, and Igbo people. Over 500 symbols recorded, probably more than were never documented. What did they write? Court judgments, marriage agreements, love letters, secret messages between initiates. Some symbols were public, others were restricted. Only certain people could read them. A writing system with security clearance. When the British arrived, they saw Nsibidi carved on walls, painted on bodies, woven into fabrics. They didn't understand it, so they called it primitive marks, decoration, superstitions. They were looking at a script, and they had no idea. They destroyed it anyway. The British banned secret societies that used Nsibidi, called them witchcrafts. When you ban the people who use a script, the script dies with them. But Nsibidi didn't die completely. It still appears today on Ukara clothes, in some ceremonies, fading but not gone. When Islam spread across Africa, it brought the Arabic alphabet. But African scholars didn't just learn Arabic. They adapted it, took the Arabic scripts, used it to write their own languages: Hausa, Wolof, Fulfulde, Yoruba, Swahili. This system is called Ajami. Those manuscripts in Timbuktu, the hundreds of thousands of books, many were written in Ajami. African scholars writing African languages, using a system they built themselves. This wasn't copying, this was innovation. English uses the Latin alphabet. English isn't Latin. African languages used Arabic alphabet. African languages weren't Arabic. Same logic. Ajami manuscripts covers everything: history, law, medicine, astronomy, poetry. Thousands still exist, being preserved, being studied. Written proof that Africans documented everything. Ge'ez, Nsibidi, Ajami, and there are more. Tifinagh, used by the Berber and Tuareg people, over 2,000 years old. In Morocco, Tifinagh is an official script. It's on street signs right now. VI, created in Liberia in the 1830s, a man named Momo Luduwa Lubukele said it came to him in a dream. Within years, thousands of Liberians could read and write in their own language, still taught in school today. Meroitic from the kingdom of Kush in ancient Sudan, around 200 BC. We still haven't fully decoded it, but we know it was complete, used by the royal inscriptions, religious texts, government records. And then there is Egypt. Some people try to separate Egypt from Africa. Egypt is in Africa. Hieroglyphics are African, created in Africa, 3,200 years before Christ. The line was useful. If Africa had no writing, then Africa had no history. If Africa had no history, then Africa were primitive. If Africa were primitive, then colonization was a favor. We are not stealing, we are civilizing. That was the logic. And it required erasing the evidence. When Europeans colonized, they didn't just take the land. They banned African languages in school, forced children to speak English, French, Portuguese, punished students for speaking their mother tongue. They banned manuscripts, dismissed African scripts as decoration, replaced African education with European education. Within a few generations, Africans stopped learning their own writing system, not because they didn't exist, but they were erased deliberately, systematically. And then the colonizers said, see, they have no writing. The crime created its own evidence. Ge'ez is still written in Ethiopian churches. Tifinagh is still on Moroccan street signs. VI is still taught in Liberian schools. Timbuktu manuscripts are still being preserved. The evidence exists. Africa had writing. Africa has writing. They told you it didn't. Now you know. Share this with someone who was taught the lie. Subscribe to Antera Studios. There is more they didn't tell you. We will cover all of it.